You're listening to the Yaknel podcast, a space where we explore creative process through authenticity. Getting together with people who are paving the way for the Latinx and QT/BIPOC community across multiple industries. A space to speak honestly from our intuition, being ourselves profoundly. Where the impossible is just the next step. Hola. Welcome back. ¿Pero qué pasó? Sí. We are going also to share our dearest friend who are part of our community, but they aren't so familiar with Spanish, meaning they don't speak any Spanish. This is a very special episode for me. I decided to just do whatever I want in here. So I kindly ask you to join me in this chaos, which is wonderful and open to all the possibilities out there in the universe. It is important that we use our resources and we use who we are. So really big part of who I am and the things that shape me is speaking different language. One of them, English. There are many people around me that are wonderful and incredible. So I will also want to have this space to just bring everything here. So you can enjoy, you can learn English, you can learn Spanish, you can just put it in the background while you're doing your dishes. That's also fine. Decoding the simplicity of being, the breeze, whisper a spark, you cuddle with the possibility of trying, honoring yourself by feeling alive. This world is your garden, in the melody of the unknowing, inspiring freedom, discovering a new you. Each latitude reveal an infinite flavor, exceeding shapes and color. With vast emotions, you vibrate within magic wave. Permitiendo el sentir, creating their unique becoming, delving into expansion, our guest is Novaa. Composer, musician, and artist. Share with us the importance of trying while in every step keep listening their inner self. In a path where managing the insecurities bring you closer to your purpose in life. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was very last minute.
Yeah.
Because I'm traveling soon and you too.
Yeah,
You're constantly traveling.
Yeah, but that's going to end soon. My life is not ending, but it's just, sorry. No, I mean, I want to settle down a lot, actually, and just be stationary for maybe a year.
Okay.
At least.
That would be nice. Before just getting into your stationary self, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Novaa, and I'm a composer and sound artist and business person. I'm living currently in Berlin. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. This is my first podcast.
This is amazing.
So I am no longer a podcast version.
This is a safe space
for
Verdness. I'm happy that you're here.
Thank you. It meant a lot for me to admit that.
Amazing. Do you remember the first time we met? Okay. I didn't expect this sound.
Well, maybe there were 2 times we met for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the very first time I saw you was at this festival. It was this festival when you were doing like a sound meditation.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you had your name was Yaknel, and I knew you from Tinder. Harriet.
You were like,
yeah, so
is the twin of Harriet.
No, but so I'm just like, I think that's her, but I'm not sure. But Harriet and then I figured that it was 2 different people. But I'm like, you also have tattoos. But I'm just like, but these names are so freaking different, and it didn't occur to me that maybe one of the names weren't correct, or your real name. So that was the first time I saw you in the flesh, and I was like, okay. And then after that, I don't remember the next time we.
I don't remember the first time, but just I use a different name in different dating apps and other platforms, just because my name is too cool to waste it like that in Tinder.
Yeah, totally. And I honestly thought there were 2 different people, and I didn't want to like.
Excuse me, are you the woman from Tinder?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah.
That's an amazing story. Yeah. But the second time I think we saw each other in the theater.
Oh, which one?
We're not saying names here. Friends in common.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we saw each other in different places.
Yeah. And it just in
different apps. Different dating apps. But we really connect.
Yeah.
It was really wonderful.
Yeah, it was nice. It happened organically. I don't even know how, but it kind of happened. And yeah.
One of the most amazing things, you are amazing, but one of those amazing things that you had besides your long name is your capacity for transformation.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And I would say, and it looks like you have no fear when you decide to do things. Because I always thought that you were a musician. And then it was just recently that you say that you were a lawyer. Do you want to tell us how that jump?
Sure. So, I mean, I think you bring up something really important in my life, and that it's like the notion of fear. For instance, I have a neck tattoo. It's in Hebrew, but it translates to "he who is made without fear." Which in the modern version, it's like Old Hebrew. The modern version is fearless. And the reason why I have that tattoo is based on kind of some philosophy acknowledged by Sartre, in the sense where the non-existence of something essentially connects to the existence of it. So if I didn't have fear, there would be no reason for me to put fearless on my neck. I obviously do struggle with that, but it's something that I've learned to control. But also, like, I was reading this book by Pema Chödrön. She's like a Buddhist nun, and it's called When Things Fall Apart. And in the book, it's really changed my life. But she's like, whenever you have fear, you run toward it. So that's basically what I've been doing since reading that book, is just recognizing when I do have fear, because it does come, but then I fucking run toward it. Because as she says, and as I can also like certify, shit, it's never as challenging as you think it's going to be. I think in our heads, we like think things are going to be really bad if you do this or if you do that. And then you actually do it and you realize it's not as bad. It could be bad, but it's not as bad as what you had imagined. And I've just never been to a point where something was worse than I imagined. Or maybe at that point, you kind of don't care, because you're just like, oh, it's going to be fine. And then it's messed up. And then you just like
deal with it after.
Yeah. But I mean, the stress that I guess that what it is like, if you do believe that, you face your fears, go toward it, and that it's just not going to be what you think it is. It's not the story that you tell yourself. Then it relieves a lot of stress and a lot of pressure and allows for a lot of freedom to go forward. So with that said, okay, so yeah, I was an attorney in New York City, and
because you grew up in New York City.
No, I grew up in Miami.
Ooh.
Yeah, shout out to Miami 305 786. Yo, okay. I grew up in Miami, loved it, but I was there for 18 years, and I said, okay, I gotta go away. I eventually end up in New York City. Yeah, I really enjoyed being a lawyer. I mean, it was great to kind of navigate it myself toward what type of law I wanted to practice, and started my own practice eventually. And that was fine. But then I also discovered while being a lawyer that I could compose music and that I enjoyed composing music. And I do believe that focus is incredibly important. And so for 6 months, I did try to cultivate my composition skills, cultivate my knowledge of music theory, and also practice law at the same time. And then I ended up half-assing both. There's a really horrible sexist saying, but I'm going to say this anyway.
Just go ahead.
Yeah. No, that the law is a jealous mistress, in a sense where once you practice law, you have to devote all your time to it because it's always changing. You can't really half-ass it unless you may get sued for malpractice. You don't want to do that. So anyway, so I felt that I needed to decide, do I do the law or do I do the music? And the thing with the law was just that I felt I was practicing law or doing something that any competent lawyer could do. And I felt with the music, only I could bring out what's inside of me. No one else could replicate that. So I chose the path where I needed to do it, or else it just wouldn't get done.
And how does that music fire start in you?
How did the music fire start? Oh, goodness. So I was walking down Houston Street, New York. Okay. And I was crying over something that an ex did or did not do. I don't know, but whatever the action or non-action was, I was crying. And as I was crying, like tears just running down my face, like an ugly cry. And then I started humming a melody. That melody is like probably one of the worst melodies I've created, but
want to take me to fucking town.
But it was the first time that actually, before I had played other people's music, and it was the first time where I played for fun. I was in like the band in high school, but I was never like a serious musician. But I never created something, and that's like a completely different part of the brain that you utilize when you create from nothing. And so I did that, and I'm like, wow, I really love this. I really love this melody. Yeah, and I recorded it. Yeah, from there I was just like, okay, I can do this. But I mean, I recorded it, and then later I went and got a little toy keyboard thing. And then I started realizing I can find the notes. And then I told myself, oh, this is easy, which it's not. I hired tutors to teach me music theory and composition. And I realized how challenging it can be to take sounds inside your head and bring them out the way that they're in your head. But yeah, I started that journey because that moment where I'm like, oh, I can not only write something, but it's therapeutic. It did something for me. I create for myself. So if I love my music. So if no one listens to it, I'm okay with that because I love it.
This is very interesting because for the music industry, or for some musicians also, it's very important that people listen to the music, people like your music. Mm-hmm. So first, this question is like, what is a serious musician? Because
yeah. I mean, it's important. I think every musician who wants to be a professional should, hopefully have that realization that, hey, I am a professional. Hey, I am serious. And some people have different definitions of what makes that. the case. For me, it's about, I'm a strong believer in focus. You know, I know that you can do different things, and I also do different things, but in different areas and different departments. But what I do apply and I appreciate is when one by one you focus on something, you master it-ish, or get it to a really nice skill level, and then you can go on to something else and get that to a really nice skill level and blah, 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 blah. So I prefer that type. So to me, if you want to master your art in a sense where you're able to get all the sounds inside of you out, to me, it doesn't matter if you went to music school or what you know how to play, or if you can sing or not, or if you can sing on pitch. That doesn't matter. I think the most important thing is that if your goal is to create music because you have something to share, have you done that? And are you doing that? Have you cultivated the skills to be able to do that? Because a lot of times, even like with writing, like some people have all these thoughts in their head, but they don't really come out on paper. And then you have these writers who, of course, they also self-educate, and they find ways to like bring the most nuanced, you know, like you touching a plant, and they can bring that out in words. And you're just like, wow.
I actually have 45 poems about plants.
Yeah. I mean, my hat's off to writers. I think writing is incredible skill.
And it's an incredible tool to navigate life too. Mm-hmm. Do you write a lot?
No, I don't. In fact, it's something I want to work on because I can create a melody quite easily and compellingly. But when it comes to adding lyrics, I try to work with other people because I immediately say, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I say that because it's so hard for me to create lyrics that make sense. For me, sound already doesn't even need the lyrics, but sometimes I want to. So that's something I want to work on for sure. Yeah.
I can give you a few tips later.
Okay. I'm down. I'm open. Yeah.
Well, but so what kind of musicians do you feel? Do you feel like a serious musician?
Me? Yeah, I feel very serious. I mean, not to the point where like I take myself too seriously. I started off like that. And I'm like, I have to play here and I got to do this and I got to do that. And then the pandemic happened, right?
Were you in New York when the pandemic happened?
I was here. I was in Berlin. Because in Berlin, I was like, okay, guys, what you don't know is that I was practicing law until like 2018. I took a kind of year off to learn. And then in 2019, I launched my composition career. And so from that moment, I was getting gigs. I was doing these plays, project and this, project that, had to do this, I put on a performance, a really big one. And it's like, it's really nice. And then pandemic hit and they said, stop. I started reflecting inside and realizing, okay, wait, why am I really doing this? And what do I really need? And for me, I was just realizing that the music I was creating, it sounded pretty. I was connected to it emotionally, but that I had more inside of me that I wasn't fleshing out, and that I needed time to really cultivate that. And so, yeah, it came to the point where I felt I started taking music less seriously. I didn't need to be here. I didn't need to be there. I didn't need to schmooze. In New York, you learn to schmooze and go to places so you can meet the right people. All that just went out the window. And I said, I don't give a fuck about this. What I really want to do, and my only goal, is getting the music outside of me to the point where you listen to it and you're like, oh, I love this. I love this. And you just want to play your song over and over and over and over and over again. Because obviously you're creating it because it's not already created. You're creating something that needs to be there because you want it. And so, yeah. And to me, that's the beauty of that's the beauty of any creative, is that honestly, if you work from the heart, it doesn't matter if no one likes it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't get sold or whatever. I mean, it matters maybe if you need that money to live. In the end, as far as egoistically, it doesn't really matter because you did something you love. But if you create so that everyone can like you, then that's a problem to me. I mean, it's your problem.
It's actually our problem too, because then we need to listen to the same thing without content, then it sounds like everyone else, where you inside are dying to be yourself.
Yeah.
And to express what you have inside, but you're just like living in the fear, which is sad.
It's probably the saddest.
To me.
Yeah.
Part of some of the success, I would say, successful musicians is because they're doing something creative and something new, and it's not easy. And probably these people have to fight against a lot of things like the music industry, for instance. Mm-hmm. But I think in arts and creativity, when you follow your through, when you follow what your body, spirit asking you, it makes you so happy that a secondary thing is all the rejection. And I know this is really easy to say, and it's very hard to navigate when you living from music. Mm-hmm. Not that I know, because I'm not a musician. I have a lot of musicians, friends, but I work in the art industry with writing, which is challenging too, with production, with, I would say any industry, it's challenging. But ultimately, when you create from your values and your heart and your truth, I think it's not you will find the way. You're already in the way. You just need to make that a bit clearer for you. Like clean the dust, clean the path in order to just go through. Yeah. You say, yes, and then one year I just launched my music career. And I'm listening from here. Like, she doesn't know what she's saying. It sounds so easy, and I bet there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh yeah, sure, just like launch a music career from being a lawyer after a year of studying. And then it's like, what? And more than what? Sorry that I interrupt you. It's like, how?
Yeah.
How do you make that happen, and how's that going?
I think you have to have a very strong sense of self and optimism, maybe a little dash of delusion. But I mean, so I think part of it comes from my childhood and just growing up, that I can do anything, absolutely anything I put my mind to. One thing I learned from law school is that you can also learn anything. So a lawyer, we may have a lot of knowledge, but whenever you're practicing law and you have a new question, a question of law, you always go to the books. You always go to case law, because the law is always changing. So no lawyer should ever really fully know something all in their head. If they're preparing for court, they're preparing for any type of document, they're going to research. And you find the solution. And that's to say that, so from there also I learned you can find and learn, you can find a solution to anything, you can learn anything. It just takes a matter of time. So you have that coupled with just this idea that you are intelligent enough to study, learn, and do everything through perseverance and determination. And also through help, if you work with teachers, or you work with YouTube videos, or you work with tutors and stuff like that. I took all those tools in the sense where I said, okay, well, there's a lot I want to learn, located what things I needed to learn, found people either through online and in person who could help me learn what I wanted to learn, plus also things that I didn't know I should learn, but that they suggested. You do that. It's been hard work. And even to this point, like there's this woman in Chicago. I love her piano playing. Her name is Aniette and Soul. And I love her piano playing. And I'm like, I always listen and I say, I want just to know 10% of what she knows. And of course, she's been playing piano, I think maybe since she was 8 or whatever. She's just incredible. But I reached out to her, and we have a common friend, but I'm like, I need to come to Chicago, and I come for a month and I just take master classes with you. And she's like, yeah, sure, do it. Okay, now I actually have to save money for that.
Sure, do it. Just fly to Chicago, get master classes with me.
The Chicago, I mean, I was looking at pricing everything. The Chicago rents are ridiculous, a little higher than New York. It's kind of insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a little higher and not, anyway. So, but the idea is that I still see growth, and I still when I have to do that. And I don't, even if we are doing it through Zoom and I have a, a picture of my piano in the Zoom thing, I will do it because I know that there are places and areas where I want to improve. And it's not that I want to become a pianist, but she is able to bring out color, which I can appreciate and I can hear in myself, but color that I can't yet bring out as easily as she can, Yeah. So it's an ongoing process, but you have to, so it's like the law of attraction. I seriously believe in it. So you set out to do something, you tell people what you're doing, and then most humans want to help. And so they'll say, oh, you should meet this person, you should do that and do that. And so the first thing I announce to the world, okay, I've been taking courses, I'm ready now to be a composer and live off of composing. And then, then you start getting opportunities. And I remember my first opportunity was the dancer, Lois Alexandra, who I've done maybe 4 productions with. It was, she gave me an opportunity, a chance. She took a chance with me and I took a chance with her. Yeah, it's been magic ever since. But also like that project, and what I made for that, I would not take a project like that again. And even working with her, like as far as income's concerned, like 5 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times what I made with that very first project. But it was a stepping stone and it was an important one. You just got to say yes to everything, I think, too. And you say yes to things that, okay, like don't conflict with your heart, of course.
And your values.
Yeah, your values. Yeah, right.
That's
incredibly important.
That's incredibly important.
Yeah.
And also like your intuition, like, like if you really close your eyes, you know that your body is telling you, no, dude.
Yeah.
Or maybe, or yes.
Yeah. To me, this comes through meditation practice where you can feel the tension in your body when you spend a lot of time being quiet with yourself and you do this routinely. And then you can feel, it can be any situation. It could be someone coming your way. And the moment you feel your body tense, but you have to be able to listen to it and feel it, yeah? But the moment then you have to question, okay, why is this? And then from there, you start discovering things. But yeah, intuition is, important. And also, for me, it's like you have one life that I know of. I have one life that I know of to live. Yeah, I had to make the choice of whether I stand on the sidelines and I live, you can live vicariously through other people, or you can live with, what do you call it? When people have regret. You can live with regret, you can live with defeat, or you can choose to try. I come from a place, if you really, really want something, you try 100 times if you need to. You try, the least you can do. And oftentimes you try, and maybe if something doesn't work out, but then your body or your desires gravitate towards something else. And then you go in that route. But you have to at least try. You have to at least try.
That's why we're here. I'm trying this.
When I'm having fun.
Yes, I never did something like that. Like this. This is my first time also in a podcast.
Wow. It's incredible because I feel so comfortable with you too. And like, yeah.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah, basically the reason that I'm doing this is because I think people need to listen to others and how I observe how they feel their life and the daily life and their work, also their spiritual self. Some people come to me saying, I don't know how you're doing. Like, it looks like you're traveling all the time. And of course, this is the view that you have from the outside because the process is not there. Mm-hmm. All the work that you do, the time you spend thinking about risk. How can I make this possible? Mm-hmm. Where, if I say yes to this, what kind of no's I'm going to get? I think personally it's not only about saying yes to everything. It's just have a balance on calculating the risk because you want to be clever. Mm-hmm. You want to be clever with opportunities and basically managing your time because time is so precious. We don't have an idea how precious this is. I'm super uptight with time.
You never get it back?
I'm super uptight with time and each year it's worse. But literally I think about, okay, this would take me an hour to go, an hour to come. Does 2 hours really worth? Or what can I do there? But this is kind of like taking it to the extreme. But at the end is being balanced with opportunities, intuition, risk.
Yeah, I mean, for me, one of some people can call it a downfall for me is that I love risk. I love taking risk. And I've done things that would, other people would go crazy about. And sometimes I live a life where I don't know where I'm getting the money for next month, but things just happen. And other people can't live with that for various reasons. Some people really need security. My father's like that. He absolutely needs security. For me, I feel like, I have security, but in a different way. So I have a friend who, back in my hometown, who, I know if anything ever goes wrong, I can crash on her couch. So having that, I know that I'm never going to face like homelessness. I'm never going to be without food or shelter or anything like that. But that's because it's community. So I have to say I'm so grateful for community that's allowed me to take these risks. Because if I had a different lifestyle, like for instance, if I had children, for instance, I would probably think differently. Yes. And I wouldn't be living so precariously at the beginning. Because I think sometimes too, especially when you're going against societal rules, you have to be in a way where it's a bit delicate situation. But if you can create a community to help, then you're able to navigate until you get solid ground. But yeah, it's something to be thankful for too. I think anyone who can even come remotely close to living their dreams should just be incredibly grateful, because for many good reasons, a lot of people can't, or it's just not much more challenging for them to do so than it would be for you, or for myself or something like that.
But I really think that we have this concept that there's not enough. There's not enough. There is precarity that you need to fight. And actually, life is abundance.
Oh, yeah.
Life is abundance. And
yeah,
imagine if everyone is doing what they really want to do. Yeah. Not everyone wants the same thing. Not everyone could live with them, for instance, with your levels of risk. I cannot. But I found a way where I can be as risky as I can inside that security.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of internal work, and get to know what are your needs and your safe space, I would say. Work to build that first step. And then from there, you can go wild.
Right. I agree with that. I think, like, if you have this abundance mentality, then a lot of these fears just disappear. You're not worried about, I don't think this is going to happen and this is not going to happen. It's just like, I know that the universe, or you can say God, or you can say your family or your friends, will support me in this. Because especially if you feel like you have a calling, I think that's also important. If you tune into yourself and you realize that you're deciding to do something it doesn't come from an egoistic place. It comes from a place that this may be your purpose on this earth. And if you can move with that, that's so much power. And then I swear to God, it's the power of attraction. It's like you tell people what you want to do, and most people are trying to help you get that. And they'll bring sources your way, or sources will come, resources that come to help you with whatever you're trying to do. I've seen it happen with so many people. I do wish that even more would take it, because I do believe that every single person can live their dreams, their desires, and their purpose. And I believe that that's possible.
And also try and see what happened. How do you feel when the universe got your back? I really believe that nature and the universe want the best for us. You need balance, of course. But inside that, everything have their own dynamics. And it's really hard to believe that the universe wants the worst things. Or God. Oh, however that sounds for you, however that resonates with you.
To me, it's like I can't fail. I mean, that's the feeling I have because of this, because I believe in the law of attraction, because I believe that my purpose, to me, I use the universe and God synonymously. And I believe very strongly that I'm, in a sense, being guided not only by the universe or by God, but by my ancestors, by my mother who passed when I was young. I can't fail. And even when I get in situations I don't understand and situations that are difficult, later you realize how it led you to something that's beautiful and something that would not have happened had you not been in this situation prior. To me, life is full of that. You can find beauty in all of it. And I think every situation helps guide us toward this purpose. I feel everyone has a purpose. The purpose may not be, anything remotely close to being famous or anything like that. It could be just a loving person or helping others or whatever. But everyone has like this higher sense of self. I don't think anyone's like on here to purposefully be evil or bad. I think we're here to help each other. It's kind of human nature, here to help each other to just be better.
Do you know your purpose in life?
Yeah, I do. I think one is to be an artist, and that whatever music's inside of me or other ideas I have, artistic ideas, that in some way that can resonate with other people. And there is another project that I'm sitting on, which God has clearly told me this is what I need to do. And it's so challenging that I keep fighting it. That's also another purpose. It has to do with coding and I won't go into details, but it's something that I'm fighting. But it's what I realize is that I know that I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't know how you feel, but I can sense when God is talking to me, or the universe. I can sense when like I'm getting a message and it did not come from here, my brain. Yeah. Did not come from my heart. It came because, especially if it's a message maybe you get that you're a bit resisting, but you have to do it. Those are special moments. But to me, those moments also, connect you to your purpose.
Well, they are the same moments for a month and you just don't want to see it. It's just like a constant signal. Yeah. Or maybe an alarm, like nah, meh.
Yeah. That's rough, especially like it's almost like that biblical story about Noah and the ark.
El Arca de Noel.
Yeah, can you imagine?
It's really hard for me to connect English with like people. Yes, but now I know.
Can you imagine like let's imagine the story's true. Can you imagine what Noah must have like felt when they're like, build an ark for like, I don't know, was it like it had never flooded before or never rained, or I don't even understand why he couldn't comprehend a boat. Anyway, somehow then boats never existed before. I don't know what's happened. Anyway, so he's building the ark because there's going to be a massive flood. And he has this information downloaded. Can you imagine how insane that would be? Like if someone told you like build a spaceship because the earth is going to explode and you got to take all the humans on the spaceship, and you build this massive ass spaceship in like a stadium, something. But can you imagine like having that?
I'm just imagining why this dude didn't take any plants and just animals, but whatever.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well,
anyway, yes, this is just getting too deep into the.
But I mean, it's just
this is an example.
Yeah, according to the Bible, he got information that no one else got, and I think that happens to us all the time, where we get like these messages. It's insane, whether it's an ark or if you're building a spaceship or you are, I don't know, running for chancellor or president or I don't know, but
or Miss Venezuela. Just God told me that I have to be beautiful. I love your examples and my references. But
yeah, it's that calling and this authenticity and leaning into it. And also, to me, one of the most important things, creating community. All right, if you're a butthole, you're not going to go very far. Because you're going to fall and people are just going to let you fall.
It's like, bye.
Bye. So, I mean, it also teaches, of course, you're not going to be good because you want something from people, but that you should just be a really good human and be in a position where you're surrounded by people who are the best for you and vice versa.
But this is another thing, and it's very trendy at the moment, creating community. How do you create community? I mean, I kind of know, but... But like, how do you see this concept of creating community? Because I have the feeling that the entire capitalism is trying to do that. But I think there is one missing element. But what is for you? And I will say the missing element at the end. It's like getting there in the air.
For me, creating community is around my hobbies, my likes. So I grew up in a church. So community there. I grew up in a really healthy church. So a lot of good people. And also, then in law school, I started going to a Jewish temple. And then when I moved to New York City, the first community was like this Jewish Reform temple. So it's just community based on not only spiritual, I do non-spiritual things.
Go to churches.
I created community. I used to go to Zen Buddhist meditation.
So to all the brands out there, just go to church. It's a great thing.
But if you just, whatever you like, whether it's you do Aikido or you go to yoga, chances are, I mean, it's human nature that we need each other and we want to connect with each other and try to, I would say, ideally go in spaces that attract people who want the best for themselves and the best for others. So I think maybe there are other communities you can create that are not the healthiest. But if you in spaces where people are really trying to better themselves and trying to help and love other people, that's the best. And it kind of just naturally happens. And I think so for me, there's been experiences like I think we all had these where I realized, oh, damn, I was like an asshole, or like this and that. And then I'm like, okay, if I keep this up, man, I don't think anyone's going to fuck with me, So I had to really check myself, reflect, and especially you really see this when you're interacting with someone else and they do some fucked up shit, and then you realize, oh shit, I've done that before. Oh no.
Well, I have to say that sometimes you really need to be an asshole, but then you need to be ready to read the room.
Yeah. So yeah, to me, community kind of just naturally comes, like people you vibe with, some people you don't vibe with, and that's okay. And
I think this is a very clear element that you mentioned, the vibe and the energy, and that's why it's really hard to replicate. You can kind of try to create spaces in order to develop, but energy is energy.
Oh yeah.
And if you vibrate in the same onda, in the same wave that other people, then that naturally is going to come.
Yeah.
And that is the key element that I think that is missing. Because you can still have something in common like yoga. I have a lot of conflicts with yoga. But then inside that, you find your people.
Yeah.
And they find you.
Your tribe.
Yeah.
But I think that only comes when you're authentic. When you're an authentic person, and like attracts like, it's scientific. It's how it is. Like, so when you're authentic and you're cool and you're open and you're loving, then you're going to have other people who are like that and be like, oh, she's cool. I want to hang out with her. You find your tribe. I think that's
I found an at the end.
Okay, there we go.
But if I don't have the capacity of saying like, maybe this is very selfish, and sometimes you need to be selfish. You need to put yourself first because you cannot help. And not only help, you cannot give something back when you don't know yourself, when you feel empty.
Oh yeah.
When you're not listening to what you need.
Yeah.
That's
so true. I mean, you have to be, I want to say whole, but you have to really be connected to the self first. That should be the foundation, because then other people who are connected to themselves, they sense that. And
Like the bear feel.
Yeah, a bear. Or if you find someone that's like, for instance, if I'm very sensitive to energy, and I'm very sensitive to like my environment, and if I feel like if someone doesn't really fit well, I'm a very open person, but there are some human attributes that I just won't tolerate and I don't want in my space. And if I feel like someone is like within one of those things, I'm gonna take some space. And, you know, their tribe is someone that's not me, you know? Yeah, so it's so important because you can sense that. You can sense when someone is a bit balanced and when someone maybe is in a very dark space. And I think we all go through dark spaces, but it's just knowing that you need to work on yourself, and also knowing that you need to get resources to help you work on yourself. And then also, I don't know if you've been here, but you've maybe been in a version of yourself that you didn't really like, or it was definitely different from how you are now. And then you realize that version attracted certain people.
Totally.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
And many things make sense. And sometimes these interactions that happen, it was just to tell me something. Mm-hmm. And that's why you need time for self-reflect. Not stay there so long, but like to self-reflect, like, okay, what the fuck just happened? Mm-hmm. And then you just see when it's with something that you need or something that you're rejecting. And yes, I have like a really dark moment in my life, and I was like, whoa. Yes, I did a detox. I detox from people that I need to be away from, dynamics, situations, even like certain physical spaces. I'm like, no, like I'm not feeling good here, so I'm not coming here. Bye. Yeah. I think it's a lot of internal work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of internal work.
Yeah, I would say maybe that's like 80% of your life is like internal work, and the other 20 is like you interacting with other people and enjoying that. But yeah, but I think it's really good also to be in a place where you're sensitive and aware of this, because even that is a feat. Not everyone can get to the point where they understand what they need to do, what they need to shift in order to be in a happy space, or in a space that's really good for them.
Yes, where you feel kind of content,
and your spirit is, you know, well fed, and you're surrounded by, honestly, if you're not surrounded by people who want the best for you, you're in the wrong fucking space, guys. You're in the wrong space. And you gotta switch something up.
So many people just bring you down. You need to realize.
Yeah.
So when we were talking before we started recording, it's like maybe they're not doing it with bad intentions.
No,
it's just your energy are not there.
Yeah.
And they bring you down. Yes, they kind of cut that wins.
Yeah, and also, like, to me, if you're in a position where you're wishing bad on someone else, then you need to check yourself, because it just never should be that. Like, we're all here, we're in an abundant world. We're here to live out our dreams, our purpose, to be happy. Of course, along the way, there are going to be some really realistic moments happening. Ideally, you want to be around happy people. You want to be someone who sees the joy in life. Someone who I want you to have the most amazing fucking life that you can possibly have before you leave this world. That's all I want. In whatever form that means. That could mean, I don't know, you travel somewhere on the boat for 6 months. It could mean that you
bring all the animals.
You bring all the animals. Exactly.
To just bring all the animals. You don't need to build that boat because they're already there. But that wish of bringing all the animals is like legally.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, that planet is moving. Well, we're moving.
Maybe.
But yeah,
maybe there's a drone. I told you there is a drone around my house. We're going to try to take...
I saw this planet the other day, though, from my balcony. And it's...
Okay, of course we're moving because the Earth is constantly moving.
I know.
But if it's moving faster than the Earth move,
it's just
then
slowly.
it's the drone.
Yeah.
It's the drone. I have a drone around my house. Sometimes there are 3. I think I already said this.
The Earth is moving around this planet. Obviously, yeah.
I actually think it's the drone.
No, I saw that from the balcony, and it's a really bright planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will check when we finish this.
Okay.
With the question, is this a planet? Is this the drone? Is this a flying cockroach? From the 21st century.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be a big ass cockroach.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Because he's from Monsanto.
Monsanto cockroaches.
So, how do you see your future?
My future.
Or what is in your future, your visualization of your future?
The future, a lot of creative freedom. That's where I'm going. The direction I'm heading in now. I've been on projects, and most of those projects have allowed me to have some creative freedom, but always within limits of the people I'm working on, projects I'm on. So I think it's for me to lead more projects, and also to lead more projects or create projects where I can do whatever I want. To me, that in itself is beautiful. So it's more music, more art. Also, I have this desire for I love visual arts. So seeing how I can incorporate that in a way that's uniquely me. And just more getting in tune with who I am and what I want to create. Because I think it's very easy to be distracted by what other people have created. But I think the hardest thing for an artist is to not necessarily be original, but to be authentic and to find their own unique fingerprint. That's kind of me, and setting up a life where I can be creative and not have to take on any projects, maybe because of money. Like, for instance, this year, I turned down maybe 7 or 8 projects because it just wasn't flowing with my values, or just didn't like it. And it felt good. And some of those decisions, I was like, oh my God, I really don't know how I'm going to be able to pay, rent because I turned this down, but everything worked out. The importance of that to me, and I need to continue to have that freedom to say no. It's so important to me, because money's good. I think good people should have money. To live your life for money is, to me, maybe not the best way to live life. Probably not the happiest way to live life.
Because there's a lot of pressure, and it's never enough.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, for me, okay, so I have a very controversial view in this sense. I'm not going to say it anyway. Where making money is easy, right? You can make it from various ways. To me, the hard part about our life is, how do you want to make money? It's not just making, it's how you want to. And I think that's where people struggle, or that's where people should have the most challenge. So if you just focus that and get that right about how you want to make your money, then you'll be fine, because we're in an abundant world. If you need money, I mean, you can sell, water on the street corner, sell umbrellas when it's raining. I mean, you can make money, but how you want to, that's the important thing. A lot of people, whether it's pottery, whether it's some people nursing plants, that's how they want to make their money, then by all means, that's what they
Sometimes I'm thinking this is the way I should go, because look at all my plants, they're beautiful.
Yeah, there's this couple of companies that I saw, one in Berlin too, but a startup in New York, where they will water your plants for people who travel. Because oftentimes plant owners to me it's similar to being like a owner of a pet. You need your babies need to be fed and loved and cared for and talked to. And so yeah, somebody who really loves plants decided they're going to create a company where when they want to, they can decide to go to someone's house, water plants, touch the plants, talk to the plants, sing to the plants.
Wow.
I'm sure there's probably, you can even create a business where you sing to plants.
Actually, I was taking care of your plants. You are the worst with plants, let me tell you, but that's fine. Because I was super happy to do that.
Yeah.
I saw them and I was like, oh my God, how can she live like this?
Yeah, so I was subletting someone's apartment, and she had a lot of plants. At the time, I was a less caring human, in the sense where I probably only cared about human life. And I was not at all concerned with plants. And she was telling me before she left, she's like, oh, you can talk to them. And I just looked at her like, You serious?
Like I will just play the piano. Like
Yeah. And so then the plants started dying because I'm like, damn, I forgot to water them. And, it's like...
You don't need to talk to them. You just need to water them properly.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you're so self-centered sometimes and you don't care about other living things that are non-human, that problems can arise. And so I started realizing that I was killing these plants, and that was a wake-up call. And then luckily, we connected over that. And now I'm living with more plants as much as yours. And I take the time to water.
See?
And I actually care.
I remember you say, what are you doing to them? And I was like, just water them. And at this moment when I went to see your plants, they have so much dust. And I'm like, dude, like you need to clean them. And you're like, really? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, you were like dusting the leaves, and I just was like, whoa, this is extra. Like this is insane. But I appreciate it now. I understand. And they add, I live in places without plants, and it's dead. And you live in places that have plants, and you feel more connected. And I'm very grateful for plants. Yeah.
How we ended up in this plant conversation?
No, that's to say that's to say that like how you want to, want to.
By the company in New York, this is how we end up here.
Yeah. So I think however you want to live, and for me it's like, okay, I've been living off my music composition, but I talked to you and I want to transition out of that. And I want to start leaning more on my investments and more on other entrepreneurial things that I want to do and can do, so that I just get a bit more creative freedom with, like, maybe it can be like I can go a year and say, I'm not doing any paid music projects, and I'm just going to like focus and stay in the studio and work with paint and music. I don't know. And then I can do that. Like that's what I want. To be able to say, take a couple years off, be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna be in the studio and maybe play around a bit, but not that I have to do a concert or work for this producer or that.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been fun. Also, getting to know about you, and
thank you for taking the time at the very last minute.
It's my pleasure.
And you can also crash on my couch.
Oh, thank you.
It's like now you have 2 couches.
Thank you.
So,
and likewise, like if you ever decide to take really crazy risks and then you're just like, oh my God, I can't eat, I will feed you. I will clothe you. I will shelter you. I will, take you even to like a play or something.
Oh, thank you so much. But let's try to not do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds fantastic, but let's try to just like kind of coordinate when we are like, when we're taking our risks. So we have at least 1 couch.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
that totally makes sense.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm Yaknel Elorza, your producer and host. Sound engineer Isabel Alguacil. Beats and sound by Daniel Padrino. Thank you for listening.